YouTube, what is good? It is your boy Flex, and put your muscles up, cause we back with another video. So in today's video, man, we're gonna be reacting to Paul Sykes, Britain's hardest prisoner. It's an hour-long video, man, so we're gonna cut it right in half. So let's cut out all the chit-chat, man. Grab your headphones, turn the volume up. You already know the deal. Get that full experience. Get into the videos. Watch it. Let's go.
Good evening. Our language is full of tough guy phrases. We think it's good to fight your corner, to knock 'em cold. It's an attitude that may have shaped the life of the heavyweight boxer, literary prize winner, and habitual criminal whose story we tell tonight. Here's the testimony of two men who've tried to contain him.
He's intelligent, but he can be very short-tempered, and he has a reputation, and has on a number of occasions assaulted staff. He's certainly a reputation for being quite violent.
He was such a physical man. He used to do his jerks and press-ups in the custody office, and they realised potentially they had a very violent man there, and his record spoke for itself.
He's very bright. There's no doubt about his intellectual ability. He's probably brighter than most of those of us who've locked him up.
Some of the things he's done certainly can be classed as evil, but I think he's somewhat of a Jekyll and Hyde character.
Between 1962 and 1985, Paul Sykes was convicted twice of wounding with intent, twice of robbery, once with violence, 5 times of assault occasioning actual bodily harm, once of assault occasioning grievous bodily harm, more than once of assaulting police and prison officers. He's a violent man, and he uses violent language, some of which is an inevitable part of the picture we've built up inside and outside prison of Paul Sykes at large.
Hull Prison's A-Wing is a special unit for the most difficult inmates in the prison system. Paul Sykes is one of the 8 men in the unit.
I've had 10.5 years for whacking screws and 10 years for whacking coppers. Yeah? I've never taken a liberty in my life. I've belted a few people. On every case, I was in the right, and it were them that would do it, taking the liberties. And I did what John Wayne did, what any sane thinking man would do, punched them right in the fucking ear hole. I'm an expert at violence. I've been at it all my life.
He got his own light switch. Guy has his own bathroom. So like, if you ever watched a prison episode of anything here in the States, you will notice our prisons don't have, or jail cells, they don't have light switches. They don't have, they barely have windows, right? They don't have their own bathroom. You're definitely not getting your own bathroom. You get a toilet, but you're not getting a separate bathroom that separates your room from the bathroom. All right. Compared to the States, man, these prisons, I know this is old video, but these, even in the old days, the prisons are way more luxurious than the States.
I'm not a thief, I'm not a liar, I wrote a bunch on Wayne pictures. He punches a bad guy on the chin. They cheer him, they give me time.
Paul Sykes is currently in prison for 6 years. He's been locked up for 21 of the last 26 years.
Golly. Ooh.
I mean, I'm not an armed robber, a murderer, a rapist. I've got no set modus operandi. It usually involves giving somebody a belt, though. There's some people I've hit and didn't hit them hard enough. And there's some people I should have hit and I didn't. People get stuck in the groove, the thinking gets stuck in the groove. Give them a little belt, you knock the groove out, and then you get their attention. Screws handed in the brains at birth. If you relied on any prison officer's mentality, we wouldn't have discovered the Isle of Man yet. Give you an example. John...
Sorry to stop it so many times already, but this dude is tall, bro. I just had to say this. This dude is super tall. Like, if you compare him to everything that's around him, man, this dude looks like a giant, bro. What the heck?
I were in my class at school, was an SO at Leeds, Nick. So I get discharged from prison, Christmas Eve 1984. Signs me the papers, puts my record away and wishes me a bit of luck, like the way I've gone. I'm back in the Nick, May the 10th, 1985. In that time, I've worn these pumps and trod on French soil, Syrian soil, Indian soil, Malayan soil, Singapore soil, and Russian soil. Just me pumps, these. I've been about a bit. John, when I go in the reception, has moved 18 inches, and he said to me, Paul, you won't have any life left.
Paul Sykes is from Wakefield in West Yorkshire. He grew up on the city's Lupset estate, the only son of Walter and Betty Sykes.
I had never any problems with him as a little boy. He was always a grand lad. And even today, the neighbours that's known him from being a little boy won't hear a word said against him.
When he was 4, Paul was given his first pair of boxing gloves. His father Walter was in his regiment's boxing team while serving 10 years in the army. He left to become a prison officer. At home, he taught Paul to box.
Well, I always encourage him to do something every day, do some exercises, some training every day, press-ups and, you know, and belly muscles, you know, only about odd in his legs and let him coming up with it, you know what I mean, don't you? Floor exercises. I used to be laid in bed giving him a penny for every, you know, doing these, you know. Then we got dumbbells and all that, holding them out and all that, you know, and these.
I was getting bashed in the face at 7 years of age. Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday morning. Buff, buff, bashed in the face, learning how to box. How can your dad love you if he lets this happen to you 2 or 3 times a week?
Paul's told me, yeah, real hidings for the tiniest misbehaviour. He said they'd been walking down and he's given him a real backhand and nearly knocks his head off. Then they come to a little shop and he'll buy him a big block of Cadbury's. Not a small one, you know, because it does you good. It was chocolate. So he's told me that recently in the last few years that he used to whack him regularly going down.
By the age of 17...
Okay. So it's a little spin from what we're used to, right? As far as the trend, right? Typically, when it comes to like these career criminals, we see that, you know, their upbringing was pretty rough. You know, usually suffered, you know, a lot of physical and mental abuse. And of course, you know, I'm not saying that Paul didn't. You know, obviously, you know, he feels like there was some trauma in his childhood, but as far as like his upbringing, it doesn't seem to match the usual trend, right? It doesn't seem to match the usual trend. So I wonder what really drove him to start, you know, endeavoring in the criminal activities. Interesting.
Paul Sykes had already had his first encounter with the law. His early offences reflected unhappiness at home.
Every illusion that my old man had brought me up on had been shattered. And then I wanted a bit of revenge then. And I deserved what I got. I deserved it.
Within 2 years, his criminal record had grown to 22 offences and, inevitably, his first prison sentence.
After he'd been sentenced, he was only 17. We went down to the cells and they let you go see them before they take them away. And I was absolutely disgusted. And one of the officers rebuked me afterwards because I told him, I said, if I'd have been the judge, I'd have hung you. That I was so disgusted with the things that I'd heard that had been done.
Oh, man.
So maybe a little bit too strict of a childhood. Maybe this is definitely a product of rebellion, right? This is what this seems like, a product of rebellion. You know, maybe his dad was too strict, gave him the boxing gloves he didn't really want to box, made him go fight these other kids 2 times a week, you know, and that stuff really, you know, created some resentment towards his parents. And then this is what you get. from that resentment.
Don't when they put me in the nick. The door's shut, lovely warm cell, and all the books I could read, I won't end up. Somebody shouting at me. In fact, being in the nick was easier than being at home. When I first came in prison, you walk through the cell door, and in the corner of your cell is the Bible and the rule book. You picked up the rule book, and after a few years, you can recite that rule book. You can recite it. I know the rules and regulations inside out. I am one of a very, very small minority of Great Britons with a written set of statutory rights. I have got rights. Can you say the same? How many people can say that, like, written down my rights, what I'm entitled to? The people in the high-rise flats in Salford and Liverpool, they haven't got any Bill of Rights. I have. And I'm one of the people that helped write them. Yeah. October 1964. There's all amendments all the way. That one when they got radios, you had to do 4 year sentence before you could have a radio. So I'd done 4 years of my sentence and I got a radio. The only man in the nick with a radio. So when I come out of the nick, I'm done again. 2 doormen in a nightclub, frighten them to death. They give me 5 years. So I get my radio. You can't have it. I said, well, I've done 4 years. What's the matter with you? And an argument developed from it before I got my radio and everybody else got their radios.
When anybody in authority has challenged him or anything, he's hit them. So do you put that down to the fact that he was taught to box, or wouldn't he have hit them if he hadn't been taught to box? You can't take away from the fact that he's a big fella.
During the 13 years since his first prison sentence, he had been free for just 9 months. Boxing offered the chance to end the cycle of crime. Belatedly, at 30, he started a career as a professional fighter.
So, round 1 of this 8-round heavyweight contest between Paul Sykes of Wakefield, and he's in the black shorts, against Keith Johnson from Barnsley. And this is a really intriguing one, because this man, Paul Sykes, is something of a mystery man. Oh, and already he's in business. Rights and lefts to the head. And Johnson's down, and he's in trouble. What a sensational start. Up at the count of 7. Sykes is a man for whom a tremendous future's been predicted. His first professional fight at the age of 30, and he's giving Johnson a pasting. Rights and lefts to the body. He's like a machine, the man. Surely, at this rate, this fight will not last very long at all. 10 seconds to go, and not enough time for Sykes to finish it off, although he's having a jolly good try. 5 seconds to go. Right there to the head. And Keith Johnson has never been so pleased to hear the bell at the end of a round. And that, without question, belongs to Paul Sykes. He's a man for whom big things have been predicted. And in fact, that's it. Johnson's pulled out. And so, without a blow being struck in round 2, the winner, Paul Sykes of Wakefield, in his first professional fight. Now, this is your first professional fight.
Yeah.
What now?
My second professional fight. Then my third, then my fourth, and then like rows of shops, blocks of flats, holiday villas, 750 birds like Joe Bugner.
I encouraged him because I thought Paul's going to be an heavyweight, and there's fortunes in it, isn't there?
See, thanks to you guys, I know that he's not going to have 750 flying birds flying around his house or wherever. Thanks to you guys. Thanks. Much love.
There's fortunes in boxing, isn't there? If they get a right manager. And I thought he'll only want to get to the top, and then about 3 fights, and he's done it like Bruno. He's done it now, hasn't he? Bruno's made up now. And I thought, I don't know another way for a working class lad to get money.
Tommy Miller, with over 50 years in boxing, was Paul's manager.
Did everything, really, except dedication. Paul took that view like if he was tied up in a gym, it was like being banged up in the nick. While he was going, he was dynamite, and he packed all the holes and sold tickets. Like everybody wanted tickets from all over. A lot was gangsters, petty crooks and top villains, but they all come supporting him. Even the police were buying tickets. True as that.
Gentlemen, if I can call you across here. Can I call you across here for a second, Paul? That was remarkable. How important is this fight for you on Monday?
Without swearing, it's shit or bust. I'll turn it in if I don't win this. And I've got to win it back in great style. But this is not just got to win. I've got to really the business.
Well, gave him the business. Oh, Lord.
He's on a life support machine. You think when you've belted them like they're going to get up at 10. You don't want them to get up at 9, but you want them to get up at 10. I always thought I was a bit of an hard case and a bit, you know, but he's sick of me this morning. It gutted me. You couldn't expect, you know, it was just like, I saw the kid there and 3,000 miles from home. Nobody, no family, no anything.
Yeah, when he did break down, he did break down. It's all right, Paul.
American Dave Wilson needed a month in hospital to recover.
Paul could have gone right to the top quite easily. In fact, I think it was about 1,000 photographs done of Paul saying he was a future world champion. That's how confident I was. He impressed everybody. He did that. And he was always in trouble one way or another. He'd always loads of worry on his mind. But he overcome it and went into the ring, and once he got in that ring, he was away.
After only 8 bouts, Sykes got his big chance, a fight against John L. Gardner for the British and Commonwealth heavyweight titles. It was an evenly matched contest as it entered the 6th round.
Well, this is clearly going to be a battle of stamina. It's a question of whose strength gives out first. There's going to be no respite because Gardner's not that sort of man. The end could be very near here. Can't put him down, but he's doing everything else to him. And he's turned away, and that was the sign. He turned away, and that was what Brimmer was waiting for. So the great chance in life for Sykes has come and gone without success.
What?
Paul Sykes was soon back in trouble. His boxing career was over. In 1981, he was jailed for 5 years. He'd taken a contract to intimidate a union official for £1,000. No sooner out, he was assaulting the police and was jailed again, this time for 2.5 years. 3.5 years was added after a fight that put 2 prison physical education instructors into hospital.
What's got me into trouble in the past is having my physique trained as a child, but not my emotions. I've altered the physical side to the intellectual side, if you want, the academic side, but using my brain instead of my body. It's all the same machine, and I didn't realise I'd got such a good brain until I took the wraps off and started using it. I've got a brilliant brain, and I'll tell you why I've got one. Because right from being a kid, I have been standing in a boxing ring. If you haven't got your wits about you, you're going to get bashed. All those years of having my wits about me has given me terrific eyesight, good hearing, a brilliant sense of atmospheric changes. I've learned how to interpret them as I've got older. I've read and read and...
And you can hear the intelligence behind his wording. You can hear it. The way he talks. You can hear it. He's a smart guy. Like, it's so sad. So sad to see such a talented, physically and mentally, man, you know, spend his life behind the bars.
And read Richard Powell, he's a good author, I like him. Norman Mailer, for storytelling. R.F. Delderfield, A.J. Cronin, Howard Spring, J.D. MacDonald, Nicholas Montserrat. There's so many good authors. The French one, Sabatini, Hugo, so many that I admire.
"3 years ago, Paul Sykes started writing. He began on an account of the 2 years up to the end of his boxing career.
Don't be fit to write. You've got to concentrate. 2 or 3 hours every day, deep concentration, and you've got to train yourself to be able to get to that level. You can't write trivia. It's not Trivial Pursuit writing, and I'm not writing crap. I'm not writing rubbish. And once I've started writing, you're opening doors that you think are shut, and you realise how much input your senses have received. And I can remember smells and tastes and colours and atmospheres. It makes all the difference, because I only write the truth. I don't make anything up. I write the truth. And they say, truth is better than fiction. And in my case, it certainly is.
His work, entitled Sweet Agony, won a Koestler Award for Artistic Achievement in prison.
It was so clear I could read the time on the cathedral clock through the front window. It was 10 past 10 when she walked past the house. A girl so startlingly attractive, I held my breath. She was our Kay's mate, little Kath from across the road. She was a schoolgirl, untouched and virginal. She had to be, she was only 15.
Kath Nicholson grew up on the Lupset estate, living in the same street as the Sykes family. She became Paul's girlfriend despite an age gap of 15 years.
We're friends. As well as anything else, we're friends. And I think you need that. We've always remained friends throughout the past 12 years. We never fell out.
Do you know when I come in prison, don't you? I own part of the telephone system, yeah? All of a sudden now, they've took it off me. Never asked if they could. And there's 1% of the population own it. And when I come in prison, you used to get 2 minutes, 20 seconds for a 10p coin. Now it's privatised, 1% of the population. It's 38p a minute or something, yeah? Yeah. Well, how do you go about doing something that making matters right, like? What do you do? You wind people up, don't you? And I'm good at winding people up. Ask any of these screws. Ah! I've always had colourful cellmates. I did all the train robbers sentence with them. Tommy Wisby and Jimmy Hussey and Roy James. Ronnie Bender and the Lambrianos and Eddie Richardson and Frankie Fraser and Roy Short and Freddie Mills and every face that you can think of that's ever been in prison, I've done time with them. I don't want to be with drips and cornflakes and lumps of wood. I want to be kids with that's a laugh, that breaks the monotony and comes out with something different, original. Yeah, characters. There's no characters now. Most of the kids in here are not going to get out. Looking forward to a furnished suite at Park Lane, a Broadmoor or somewhere. That's it.
But after 4.5 years, Paul Sykes is due for release.
When your next door neighbour's a mass murderer and all that, and then all of a sudden you took out. Yeah, that takes a bit of getting used to. Trusting people again. But I'll be all right. I think I shall be able to cope, and I've got some good people on my side. I'm right smack in the family patch. Relatives and friends and kids. And a beautiful missus that loves me. That makes a difference, you know, when you're in company that love you.
September the 8th, 1989, and freedom.
I know all the pitfalls I've faced before, but they've all been centred around that thought. Fuck this, I was happier in the nick. As soon as I think that, I'm on my way back.
At 8 in the morning, he's met by Mick Sr. and his wife Carol, who've travelled over from Wakefield with Kath.
We home?
Yeah, this is it.
What do you reckon then, old pal? Hey? We've got about 30 years left. We've got about... I'm out, it's done, it's finished, it's over. That's another one. Come on, let's go home. Let's get home. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. You're not at the bottom. It's all kinds of... When you look at the amount of traffic that there is, and remember what the Conservative Party announced a few years ago. Well, no, not a few years ago, a few months ago in the paper that they're spending £216 billion on extending the motorways, widening motorways and building new motorways to deal with the increase in traffic in the year 2025, when
And you can see for yourself, petrol runs out in 2019, so what they're talking about. All the kidding. They're building them for skateboards. What's the light doing on? What's the light doing on, Kath? I've told you my statutory right in prison is to be in a room where you don't require artificial light. Yeah, why is that? Because it's medical. If it's a statutory right, it's medical. So, I don't wear glasses. Now then, just give it a second while your eyes adjust. Yeah? Are we right now? Yeah? If you don't use your eye muscles, they atrophy. Might as well not have them. I'm home. That's Paul.
Smart man.
Oh, I love you. Been a long way, hasn't it? It'll be right, Kath, you'll see. We can put it in, then.
We always hoped that when he came out, that there'd be a fresh start, and there's always been something there for him to come to. But then next thing you know, he's hit somebody else and is back again.
You've got to use every sense that you're given, and people are having them chuck off and they're being atrophied with them. Televisions and radios, and their hearing doesn't work, and their eyes don't work, and they're daft. And why are they daft? They want them to die early. And why do they want them to die early? There's 6 billion of us, that's why they want them to die early, and there's not enough food. We've got to look after the food, we've got to feed the kids. We're living wherever our kids are living, and we've got 2 railings there. And our Adam, we've got a good family, Kath, and it's our duty to look after them. And I'm going to tell you something else. It tells you that in here. But you know I'm not a Christian, don't you? Listen, I'm going to make a cup of tea. Yeah? You know what they say now in the nick? What would they say now in the nick when I start like this? What would they... Yes, Paul, I'm going to make a cup of tea. I'm a wonderful citizen. How do you think I've got this house and where I'm living now if I wasn't? They've given me this council. We've got the best... This is the best little city on earth. How do I know? I've been everywhere else. I'm here now, right on the family patch. Yeah, I know where it is. I've been. Nobody can tell me anything. I don't read Daily Mirror and Sun. I go and have a look. And I've been. I've lived in the forests of North America. I've lived in the outback of the Ivory Coast. I've lived in India and Russia. I had my breakfast in Moscow, my tea in Wood Street, Nick. Yeah, I've been about a bit. I'm the only man in the history of mankind that has swum across the Straits of Johor. I had to avoid a police launch. It was either that or Changi, Nick. They've got me passport in Singapore. Yeah, I swam it. Yeah, nobody's ever done it before. Not because of the currents or anything like that. Nothing like that. It's sharks. It's not shark infested, but none of the locals go paddling. Yeah, I swum it. I know about sharks, yeah. I'm 6'3" and 16 stone, 200 weight, yeah, I'm swimming. These pumps, these were hanging around my neck when I done it, yeah. I thought, well, Jaws, how they condition them, I know how they condition people, yeah, Jaws, boom, 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 yeah. They're just flying about. You've got to know how job works, yeah. Sharks, they'll have a look at me and think, yeah, I know how to do them. You punch them right in the fucking ear hole and they swim off.
Paul Sykes has been held in 18 different prisons.
Oh my goodness, my guy is crazy. Punch him right in the schnog and they swim off. I mean, you can't be mad at that, man. I've heard you punch a shark in the nose, they'll swim away. Sounds like factual information, if I do say so myself. Crazy thing, the dude's only 6'3". The dude seems like he's like 6'7". It's crazy, because I'm 6'4". And the way that dude's looking makes me think, do I look like that when I'm buy stuff? You know what I'm saying? Crazy. All right, y'all. This is just part 1, man. This is just part 1. Paul Sykes is definitely an interesting man, and it's always crazy to see the type of people you can learn from. And Paul Sykes is definitely somebody you can learn from. You know what I mean? Not all the time is it somebody who stands in front of the class. You know what I mean? Not all the time is it somebody who has a degree that can teach you valuable information about life. You know? And this guy definitely seems to be one of those types of people who can teach you some things. So, of course, you guys, give the video a thumbs up, post in the comments down below, and of course, always smash that big red button. Until next time, man, put your muscles up. I'm out of here. Peace.